Greetings YouTube, Lockie here from Wargaming and welcome to another tournament vlog. This time it's our annual Christmas tournament, the Yuletide Bash, put together by Sam and Pat, and it's a 750 point tournament. So I'm going to be taking a similar Mordor list to what I took last time, but obviously fleshing it out a bit. I'm going to drop the Mouth of Sauron to squeeze in an extra Wraith. The Dark Marshal is coming along with his 6-inch banner and he's bringing a beautiful Fellbeast. And instead of 3 trolls, I'm thinking 4. So I've got 2 trolls to paint because I'm dropping the troll with the drums, so I've got another troll for that. And I've also crammed in a few spectres, which I don't have the models for, so I've got to sculpt and paint them. And then give everyone a bit of polish and we'll be ready to go. Tactics wise, I think it'll be a bit of fun. Lots of magic obviously with the Wraiths, but also the spectres. They've got that fell light in their eyes special rule where they can make enemy units move if they fail the courage test, so hopefully I can break a few charging formations and suck enemies in and crunch them with clubs and hammers and spiky bits. So yeah, it should be good fun I think. Anyway, let's jump into it and get ready. So after a mental night last night of sculpting and painting, I managed to get the boys all together. The spectres took a particularly long time. I started off with just basic plastic warriors, an elf, a man of Numenor and an orc. And then I kind of did a lot of repositioning of limbs to try and make them look more scary and commanding and freakish, and then a fair bit of green stuff work to kind of patch all of that up, and then I gave them, you know, really wraithy kind of hair and then some vines coming up out of the ground, just as if they've stepped right up out of the dead marshes, and tried to reflect that with the paint scheme as well. I think the basing really brought them to life. All of the resin and the kind of grossy grass sliminess really helps kind of ground them in reality, and I think they kind of look okay, especially for a bit of a rush job. The 2 trolls were the old metal models that I had lying around, so I did an arm swap with one of the arms from the new plastic kit, just so their poses were a bit more dynamic. So I'm keen to see how these guys do on the field and see if we can crush a few skulls.
Between games, we're not going to have a massive break because you animals want to do 4 games at 750 points. Fuck. No stabbing, no biting, no clawing, keep it civil. Sam will go through and read off some orders.
Mentioned hand pulling, so that's good.
Let's do it. 1. And Thomas.
My name's Tom. I'm drawing at Iron Hills and Mirkwood Force combined, and today we're playing Contest of Champions.
Mordor victory, major victory. The trolls hurled like crazy and we crushed lots of dwarves and elves. He nearly broke me at the end and chunked me down to a minor victory. But I got 3 kills with the Shadow Lord and the Dark Marshal, and I killed Dane before he killed anyone, so 7 points to zip. Who was your MVP for the round?
Probably Thranduil. He got the most kills, but I think if he managed to stand his elk earlier and get some more damage onto those trolls, it would have helped.
Yeah, for me it was just hurling in general. I knocked Thranduil off the elk, I knocked Dane over off the ball, knocked him over like 3 times and piled in on him with the trolls. Yeah, so just trolls combining brutal stuff. But honestly, probably the Dark Marshal, that fucking banner won me like 4 combats.
4 combats.
Yeah, so Dark Marshal for me. Awesome, thanks so much dude.
Thank you man, appreciate it.
I'm Brock, I'm playing Thranduil's Wolves plus a bear, and we're playing Fog of War.
Cool, so that was a crushing defeat for the Thranduil's Elves and Bayon. The major victory for Mordor. The Trolls went very well. Who would your MVP be? No, for you.
Tariel killed 250.
Yes, she did okay. I don't know who my MVP would be. Probably just the Trolls crushing everything. Yeah, the Shadow Lord getting off sweet transfixes, but the key moment for me was getting 4 Trolls in combat with Bayon and rolling 28 dice to deal 11 wounds. That was probably my moment, so I'd say Clubby the Troll as usual. Alright, thanks so much, buddy. Great game.
My name's Ryan. I'm playing Harad with the Sauron thrown in there, and we're playing Capture and Control.
Victory from the jaws of defeat. I somehow managed to kill Sauron, and I thought it was going to all fall apart, but then I managed to go and grab myself a bunch of objectives and take a major victory. That was a really close game, man.
Yeah, it was good.
Who was your MVP?
MVP. Sauron held up a lot of Trolls for a long time.
Yeah,
I was trying to keep it pinned in the middle there and get all the objectives.
I was so shit scared. For me, I'd probably say the Dark Marshal. He zipping around and throwing people with the Fell Beast and everything was awesome, and nabbing that objective at the end was sweet. Yeah, awesome. Thanks for a great game, dude. Cheers.
Hi, I'm Ori Smith. This is my army. I have taken Mordor with 2 filthy Wraiths on Fell Beast, Shagger War Leader, and a smattering of Orcs.
Crushing defeat for my Mordor. This Mordor was crushing victorious. Who was your MVP, Ori?
It's really hard to say because I feel like just the Horde.
The Horde?
The Horde.
Yeah, cool. I'd have to say, probably no one. Maybe the Shadow Lord. He hung around and got a few effective spells off, but other than that, he was fairly useless. Cool, awesome game too.
You too, man.
Thanks so much.
It's a Christmas tournament. All my opponents gave Chrissy presents.
Oh my god, you're so cute. Thank you.
Disqualified.
Alrighty guys, third place, beating Matt by 1 point. 72 points, Lachlan.
Woo!
Alrighty guys.
My first podium finish ever in a tournament, pretty stoked with that. Would have been nice to go perfect mode and get 4-zip, but not to be. There's always next time. In the first match against Tom, because of Contest of Champions, the deployment, you're ending up 6 inches away from each other, and I think that must have been a bit gnarly for him, staring down a battle line of trolls in the first and second turn. And I rolled really well and got off some great hurls, knocked Dane off his boar early, knocked Thranduil off his elk, and knock over a lot of dwarves. And then gang up on Dane and kill him off really early, and that's the only way you can score in that match, is by breaking your opponent or getting kills with your leader. So isolating his sole scoring method was really early, was really awesome. But the thing is, Iron Hill's dwarves just don't die. I'd be messing up their battle line, chucking them everywhere, hurling them left, right, and center, but they just don't go down. And eventually, they would get up, form a few ranks, and start wounding the trolls. And it got a bit sketchy at the end there because he got off a couple of kills. He killed one troll, he killed all my spectres, and I was almost getting to breaking point. And he could have leveled the scoring at that point because I'd only got the 2 kills with my captain, and I was kind of freaking out a bit. And then Thranduil charged my captain and nearly killed him himself, and we could have had a tie. So it was definitely a lot closer. I managed to get rid of Thranduil and fly the Wraith off and get that 3rd kill, and it was all safe in the end. But there was definitely a few turns of panic there right in the very last 10 minutes of the game, so it was really awesome, and Tom was great fun, so thanks to him. In the second game against Brock, it was definitely a lot more one-sided. The trolls just wreaked havoc. They crushed Bayon's skull. Second time we've killed that Bayon model. That's Pat's Bayon, so that was fun. Now we Thranduil again on Elks, blitzed him. I think Brock probably didn't do himself any favours by charging Thranduil and his cavalry straight in, because I just sort of swiped, chucked them around, knocked them off their horses, and then crushed Thranduil. What he probably should have done is waited till Bayon changed into the bear and then pushed Bayon and the cavalry up, a bit of a pincer on the 2 flanks, and made each of my trolls kind of have a bit of a problem of their own, rather than allowing me to use my trolls to focus on his kind of lethal units one at a time and pick it off piecemeal. I crushed Thranduil, Bayon charged, and I ganged him, and I crushed him as well. So yeah, it was definitely a lot more one-sided, and luck certainly didn't go Brock's way, so sorry about that, mate. It was a good game nonetheless. Game number 3 was really gnarly. Sauron is always awful, and Ryan used him pretty well to his credit. He got Sauron straight in the center of the field on that main objective and just tried to hold all of my trolls at bay while he spread all his infantry and cavalry around to claim the other objectives. It was a really solid tactic, Ryan. And I thought it worked. In turn 12, I'd given up on the game pretty much. Sauron was just looking as strong as ever, full stats, and just kind of mincing away. And then somehow I flew the Dark Marshal in round on the flank and pinned Sauron against 2 trolls and took him from 5 wounds to 0 in one combat. He was trapped, 9 dice, 18 dice, rolling 5s, and I got 6 wounds. And without the 1 ring, Sauron's gone. So that changed the game a bit, and I was like, okay, I can probably win this now, or we'll at least give it a shot. So I quickly threw all my trolls and my Fell Beast out towards the objective, and I got there and I picked up his infantry and literally just hurled them all out of the scoring zone, and the game ended, and I was within 4 and he only had 1. Because of the random game length, if the game had ended a turn earlier, my trolls hadn't got there yet, and it would have been 4 objectives to 1 or 3 objectives to 2, and he would have ended up winning. But because the game went for 1 more turn, my dudes were able to get there and knock him off the objectives. So yeah, it was definitely bad luck there for poor Ryan. He was on top all game, and I managed to come back out of nowhere. So that was a good close match, nothing like that. And then match number 4 against Ori. Ori's a bit of a seasoned Wraith veteran. He's very, very solid player, and it's a really tight list. I was kind of a bit torn throughout the whole game. I didn't know whether I should focus on the Wraiths and try and knock them out or break his infantry, and I kind of really wasn't in a position to effectively do either. One thing I really underestimated was just how much of a pain in the ass the Undying is, because my kind of tactic with enemy big hero units is transfix them, debuff them somehow, get their stats down, then put in a bunch of trolls and mince the crap out of them. But with the Undying, you can't do that, because whenever you cast spells to get him down, his will goes up, and then his will are his bloody fate points. So you can't really kill him with combat. So then it's like, alright, well, I'll sap will him, but of course he's got 1,000 wills, so he just resists all the time, and yeah, he's really tricky. I definitely underestimated his kind of potency. So yeah, good little Wraith there. And having both Wraiths on Fell Beast is always, that's the total meta at the moment, Wraiths and Magic. So it's a really tough list, and Ori played it like a pro, and it was good fun and a good scrap. But I did manage to get his Shadow Lord. I ganged up on him, trapped him in against a rock, and my trolls finally got a bit of revenge. But by then it was way too late, and Ori had taken the game and thus took the tournament. He took out first place. Essentially, we were playing really the final. So it was really fun to be in that position and have an awesome game. And Ori's such a great competitor, and all of my opponents were such awesome sports and lovely people, so it was a really good fun tournament. In terms of MVPs, I think it's a tie once again between my trolls, specifically Clubby the Troll again. He got off some epic hurls. It was his hurl that knocked over Dane in the first game that allowed me to kill him. He dealt some of the killing wounds against Bayon, and tied with him is absolutely the Dark Marshal. I mean, really, if Trolly wasn't representing all trolls being awesome, I would probably pick the Marshal as their outright winner. That banner rule is insane. Like, it's a 6-inch banner, so I keep the Titan unit together. We're in the 6-inch shroud from the Shadow Lord and the 6-inch banner. If you position him right, every time your trolls are fighting, you can get all 4 trolls using the banner. In the first game alone, I won 4 or 5 combats from the reroll off the banner, and I'd say I probably got another 5 to 6 over the course of the match. The Fell Beast is just awesome. The mobility it adds to the army was fantastic. Claiming objectives in game 3, being able to swoop in and pin Sauron against the trolls. He was just instrumental in a lot of really useful plays. Thanks to Sam and Pat for putting together the tournament and all these wonderful prizes. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I got a pretty good response to the first ones. It's just like a really fun way of chucking up some videos while we're working on our massive stuff, which takes fucking forever. So don't worry, there's heaps of cool things still in the pipeline, and we'll keep pumping out little things like this to keep you guys amused. In the meantime, if you guys are enjoying the channel and all the content, please subscribe to us and let us know. Drop us a comment, give us any suggestions on stuff you'd like to see, and you can check out another one of our sweet videos over there, and we'll see you very soon with the next video. So thank you so much for joining us, guys. Cheers.